G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, so it's different to put a video out. Obviously not my tipping video and not a game day vlog, but we are getting closer and closer to game one of State of Origin for 2023. So I am going to be putting out two separate videos. The first one being obviously tonight, and the second one will probably come out on Wednesday because obviously tips come out on Tuesday. And these are going to be about my State of Origin predicted or players I'd like to see in Origin. Now you got to remember that players do get picked based on previous experiences in the Origin arena. In my opinion, players like James Tedesco are not the best fullback in the comp, but these are players that will be picked. So if you're fairly new to the sport and you think Dylan Edwards is the most informed fullback right now, then you're probably right. But they do go picking, and Freddie seems to go for this method, especially now talking about the Blues. But let's get into my 1 to 19 for the New South Wales Blues, Game 1, 2023.
To entertain how?
So you probably guessed it, at fullback I have James Tedesco. Now Tedesco has proven himself in the Origin arena and he has played plenty of Origin going back to now, I think 2018, maybe 2017, I think 2018 if I am not mistaken, and he's been fantastic. He will retain that fullback spot. He's a great talent of the game. You've seen it. There definitely are some informed fullbacks in front of him, in my opinion, but when he gets in that arena and you see what he can do, he is a very lethal player. The wing is an easy one on the one end. I've got Brian To'o. I think Brian To'o has still had a really nice season. He has those back carries, post-contact meters, gets very involved. I think a lot of wingers these days are just known for put downs, but I think the meter yardage that Brian To'o, 200 meters plus per game, I think he's a very involved winger, and I think he's always good in that Origin arena. In the centres, I have LATRELL MITCHEL. LATRELL MITCHEL obviously playing with the South Sydney Rabbitohs in great form at fullback. He's been in that Origin arena before, centres his spot. Some of us want to see him in centre at the Rabbitohs, but he's been killing it at fullback, and he will get the call up from Freddie. I don't doubt this for a second. Number 4 is a tough one. I've gone with Tom Trbojevic. You could arguably go with Campbell Graham, who has been the most formed centre of the year, but I don't think you can shift Turbo to the wing. Turbo's also, not completely fully fit from what we have seen, but I still think that Turbo can bring a lot, and we've seen just how powerful of a player he can be, so much involvement, especially it seems to be games that aren't New South Wales or Queensland. He's just so good at these neutral venues, and it starts off, I believe, in Adelaide. I think it could be Perth or Adelaide, I can't remember, but in game 1, number 4, Tom Trbojevic. Number 5, I mentioned him, the inform centre of the year at the moment. He'll be there, I reckon, when the Dally Awards come around. Campbell Graham from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. He's playing amazing footy. He's having a career best season, and I think he could be picked in the centres, but I'm going to play it safe and say he gets a spot on the wing just because I can't see LATRELL MITCHEL or Turbo missing out. Now, number 6 is a very tough one. It's between two names here. It's between the Sharks' Nicho Hynes, the former Dally M medalist, and Jarome Luai, who's been in the Origin arena and has that influence of the halfback, I'll mention it now, in Nathan Cleary. And I think Brad will go with Jarome Luai. I arguably think Nicho Hynes deserves the spot. I think he's been the better player for the year. I think Jarome had a great game the other night, don't get me wrong. He's had some good moments this season. I still think a lot of people, and I don't hate Jarome, but I don't like Jarome. And I think he's still had a nice season regardless. I think he's had some great moments, and I think he's copped a lot of criticism for his game, and I still think he's been quite involved where possible in the Panthers' attack, even though their attack has been, not at their greatest, but they are starting to score some points. But Jarome Luai, for mine, I think he will get the spot over Nicho Hynes. I would be surprised if Nicho Hynes gets it, just purely based on the way that Brad Fittler seems to make these decisions. And I think this could be Brad Fittler's last year if the Blues don't win the series, because I think he's kind of shown, that he can have this great team, but not get these results and not win Origin. So there has been some wins for the Blues, has been some wins for Maroons. Interesting year, but it's been a while now for Brad Fittler. At number 7, I've got Nathan Cleary, with no doubt the halfback that is still on fire. He's been on fire for years. Nathan Cleary, a 2-time premiership winner, also with Jerome Luai. He will be the New South Wales halfback. At number 8, I have the current Dally M leading medalist, and that is Payne Haas. Payne Haas has been outstanding. He's also been in that Origin. He's aggressive. He's been fantastic this season, as shown by those votes. So Payne Haas at 8. Now, at number 9 is probably between 2 players, but arguably I think one player is in better form, and I think they're due for a bit of a recall. I think Damien Cook will be the starting hooker. I know that last year he wasn't exactly the starting hooker. He came off the bench, but I think Damien Cook is going to get that number 9 jersey ahead of Api Koriasiu. I think Koriasiu, as I read, will be somewhere within the team, but I think Damien Cook is in jersey number 9. Number 10, now he's coming back from injury shortly, Jake Trbojevic. I think if he can prove himself, he's had a fantastic season. He's always a reliable player, great in the Origin arena. You can be trusted. I think Jake Trbojevic in the front row. Number 11, making Origin debut, Hamole Olakalatu. He's had an outstanding year last year and an even better start to the season this year. He's been fantastic. One of the most formed back rowers, if not the most formed back rower in the competition. I think Olakalatu is going to be getting a call from Freddie in a couple of weeks. Number 12, I think he's getting a recall here. I think the back rowers are a little bit scarce, and I think, look, it could be Angus Crichton, but with the limited game time that he has had, and they do, I will mention this, they do seem to pick Cameron Murray in the back row. But I think they need a bit of strength, and I think someone who's been a little bit overshadowed here, I'm going to go Tyson Frizzell. Tyson Frizzell's been fantastic for the Newcastle Knights. I think Freddie's got his eye on him. I think he's ready to get back in the Origin arena in jersey number 12. At lock, he's still in great form. He's been great form for years. I don't think he's an underrated player anymore. I think he's fairly rated finally. His time has come. Isaiah Yeo, he's continuing that consistency. He's a great player, so he will be at lock. And that finishes off, obviously, the starting side. Moving on to the bench. Now, this was a tough one because you could have Api Koriasiu or Nicho Hynes, and Api Koriasiu probably comes and provides that role when Damien Cook, whether he can play 80 minutes or not, which I don't know if he can. I think Nicho Hynes deserves his spot. I think Api Koriasiu will probably get it, but I'm going to say for me, Nicho Hynes in jersey number 14. If Freddie has the right idea, then Nicho Hynes in jersey 14 has to be there. He's a game breaker. He can change this game entirely if it's a close one, and he needs to be picked. He needs to be picked. Nicho Hynes, 14. Utility. Number 15, another one that's getting a recall. It's been a few years, and I think he's in some fantastic form, and I think they probably need some, big forwards off the bench. So I am going to take Jack de Belin from the Dragons in a struggling side. He's been in fantastic form. I've been saying it for weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks. Jack de Belin, he's come back. He's had a great start to the season, and he's looked very, very good, very involved with the play. He scored the first try the other day, for Christ's sake. Jack de Belin deserves an Origin recall, or at least to be in the camp. Number 16 is the Parramatta Eels front rower. He's always there. Junior Barlow, I think off the bench will be a great spot for him. He'll provide that aggression when people start to get tired from the Maroons, but Junior Barlow in jersey number 16. And rounding off the 17, I had mentioned his name, and I have Cameron Murray for the New South Wales Blues, an always reliable defender. He's a great attacking player as well. Quick play the ball speed, a lot to like about Cameron Murray. So Cameron Murray, that is my 17, and I have mentioned his name as well. My 18th man is Api Koriasiu, and I'm going to mention 19th here, who I definitely could see come into the side, potentially over Tyson Frizzell to start, but I just don't know if he will get the call up, and that is the Canberra Raiders back rower, who was the form back rower last season in Hudson Young, to get some time in the Blues camp in jersey number 19. But that is my predicted New South Wales squad. Let me know yours in the comments. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my NRL tips. And if you want to see the Maroons predicted team, make sure you tune into that video, which will be coming out on Wednesday night. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys later.